2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday.
Yeah, what's happening? We about to bring that action. Gotta hold it down for my Seattle Kraken. Ay, we going beneath the waves. We going beneath the waves. Get it hype, step onto the ice. Ready for some action. Release the Kraken. Ay, we going beneath the waves. Going beneath the waves.
What is up, everyone? Welcome into the Beneath the Waves podcast, your weekly recap of all things Seattle hockey and beyond. I am Matt.
And I'm Derek. And before we start today's show, I wanted to give a shout out to BTW's own Heather, who has continued her amazing coverage of the Seattle Torrent for the Hockey News. Heather's two most recent articles are recaps of the two most recent Torrent games. There's some amazing stuff and some not so great stuff that happened these past two games. We almost shut out the Ottawa Charge and then almost got shut out by the Boston Fleet. The latter game, the Torrents been outshot 2-1 nearly the entire match. But go check out these articles to stay up to date with the Torrent season. And we just wanted to say again, great work to Heather. And at this point, nearly all of her articles are being picked up by Yahoo Sports, which is just wow. And who knows, you may hear from her pretty soon. So keep your ears open and ready for the sweet sound of Heather's takes. As always, you can stay up to date with her work by going to our show notes. Back to you, Matt. Actually, before we go back to you, I think we should also mention that today, what's the news with today? Why is there only two of us, Matt?
There is a third member of Beneath the Waves who has been placed on the IR. We are without Alex today due to child-based illness reasons. And as someone who is just now on holidays after dealing with children every single day, I can definitely feel where he is coming from with that. So hopefully he kicks it soon. And, you know, the insiders are saying expected to be out for 1 week. So hopefully that holds true.
Truly a Kraken podcast we are.
Truly a Kraken podcast. Always down, always hurt. But we persevere. We do all right. And we are persevering on a very momentous day. It is episode 50. We have hit the big 5-0 of the BTW pod. Absolutely wild to think of that. On this episode today, we're going to have some fun catching up on the last week of games. We're going to go over all the Kraken news. We're going to air our KRAKTIVUS grievances for our second annual KRAKTIVUS celebration. And we're going to preview the week ahead. But as we do, Derek, you're going to have to fill in on a different line than you're usually on here. It is time to money puck around and find out. So open up the wheel and let us know how things are looking this week.
Okay, so the Kraken, they have fallen off a cliff, obviously. They currently sit at a whopping 11.5% for the playoffs. And Matt, as you found before the show, this is eerily close to our odds to get the first overall pick, which is 9.2%. So we're about 10% to either make the playoffs or get the first overall pick. Let us know on social media which one you guys would rather have. I think we're all leaning towards the pick at this point. But hey, you never know. We could squeeze into the playoffs with our ragtag bunch of fun guys and see what happens to. You never know in hockey. So about 10% either way, man. That's where we're looking.
I think in Kraken fashion, we're probably going to miss the playoffs and then end up with pick 8 again.
Oh, it's third year in a row, right?
Yeah. And maybe Gavin McKenna will just fall down the ladder. He'll get like a super Shane Wright treatment and just keep falling and falling and falling.
Right. And also, Money Puck has us projected for 81.2 points. I think that's still closest to Alex's prediction.
I think so.
What did he say? 81?
He's 81 or 82, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my Lord, this guy, this is some insider trading, man. This is crazy. And then we're now 30th in the power rankings. So really, really just down there in the trenches. So yeah, not looking good, obviously.
No, not good at all. Things looked kind of so-so for the Kraken this week, however. The Kraken are sitting at a record of 13 wins, 14 losses, and 6 overtime losses. And in the 3 games that we played, we lost a pretty tough 5-3 game to the Avalanche. And then we had another loss, not quite as close, but it was still a loss, nonetheless, 4-2 to the Flames. And we ended on a positive note with a 4-2 win over the Sharks, finally breaking our losing skid in a broad sense. What are your thoughts on this week?
Yeah, so like my vibe check this week, obviously the wheels have fallen off in the past like 3 to 4 weeks or so, if you've been paying any attention at all to the Kraken. But the goaltending remained serviceable with Gru this week, and even stellar again with Joey. But I mean, we were talking about this earlier in the week, Matt. We really have what, like 3 out of the 12 in our forward group being like competent, reliable NHL players. I think you could maybe get that number to 4 or 5 if you include like Capo Caco and Eli Tolvanen, but they've had major down years. So you're really looking
Mhm.
at like Eberle, Beniers, and Stevenson of all people. Stevenson, Chandler Stevenson.
As much as
The-
people probably wouldn't want to admit.
yeah, no, 100%. No, it's just a fact at this point in terms of this year's forwards. Um, but yeah, you're looking at those three being like the main three that jump out to us, like I think as players that would start on a third line or higher on other teams at this point. Going like just quickly touching on the Colorado game, that's game of the year for me. Like that game was just amazing, like pure cinema. And maybe it's icing on the cake or a cherry on top that we did lose that game in terms of like getting our McKenna odds. I want every game to be like that though. Like, and I remember we've had this exact same conversation maybe last year, or even 2 years ago when we were streaming. But like the games where it's just pure, like we're in it the whole time, but then we lose at this point in the season, that's like the best you can ask for.
Yeah.
And just quickly touching on the expected goals in that game, it was 6.14 Kraken to 5.22 Avalanche. And most of the game, we were just purely dominating the Avalanche in terms of the scoring chances. Even it was a TNT national media crew. They were saying even after the second period that the Kraken were just dominating that game. Couldn't find the back of the net, obviously enough. But just an amazing game and one that I'll remember for the rest of the year, probably. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely a good feeling one. Like you always talk about, yeah, it was a 5-3 loss, but it's actually a 4-3 if you think about it, because one of them was an empty netter. One thing I want to say that just like is recently driving me up the wall on Reddit or Twitter or wherever you might look, is people are saying, stop pulling the goalie. It's not working for us. It's like, what is the difference if we lose 4-3 versus 5-3? Who cares? We're taking a shot to try to do what we can with it. Sure, it doesn't work out, but if it gives us like a 10% better chance, why would you not take a 10% better chance versus of
100%.
maybe tying her up versus a 100% chance of still losing if you don't do anything or
Yeah.
make the attempt on it?
Yeah, a couple things on that point. The first is that like when when the when the Kraken are playing even strength, it feels like they're better than with the man advantage. So there's that. And then also the only real argument you would have is that like, oh, if a non-Kraken fan is like perusing the games that day and they're like, oh, the Kraken got walloped or whatever. I knew they were horrible. They're not really wrong. Like we still are losing most of our games. So let them think they already think that. It's not a big deal. All the Kraken fans know that the losses were not that bad. We were more in these games than it looks like. And that's kind of the story of the Kraken right now is like close but not enough in so many of the games. And that's what's kind of painful, especially with our forward problem and our injuries problem. Like 3 out of the 12 or 4 or 5 out of the 12 forwards being competent. And you still have so many of these games where it's like really close throughout the whole game. And maybe that's a good sign going forward, but I feel like we're going to have a lot of reworking going on. So I maybe just scrap any sort of analysis on the current team. I don't know.
Yeah, we're only 33 games through the season, and there's another game, puck dropping in an hour and 11 minutes from now when we're recording. So this could all just be like we might get blown out tonight against the Ducks. We'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Quick bold prediction right now. Looking to the future. What happens 3 hours from now when the Ducks game's over?
Oh man, the Ducks are a super high scoring team, I feel like. So I feel like they're gonna put up do we know who the goalie is?
I'll tell you while you vamp and say
Yeah,
what you think might happen.
I mean, if it's Grew,
Grew confirmed.
I could see easily 5 goals being put up in this game. And if you know anything about the Kraken, we're lucky to have like two or maybe three. So I'll go like 5-2 or 5-3 loss. What
All
about
right.
you?
I'm right along that same thing there. We'll probably be 4-2, and then we'll pull the goalie and get scored on 5-2, and people will be upset, and we'll just rewind to 3 minutes ago and have that same
Okay.
conversation over again.
Cool.
I do think it was nice that we ended on a win for the week. That feels good. The Sharks are young and scrappy and speedy, and it seemed very evident at times that we were struggling to keep up with what was going on, but we were gritty and got her done and pulled out a W at the end of that, and that was our first win in what was it, 11 games, something like that. So it
Oh
was nice
yeah.
to break that that streak of not so great luck. We do have some big main talking points here out of this week. The first one we talk about was the trade of Mason Marchment. He joined us this offseason and he is already gone. Less than an hour before the holiday freeze came into effect, the news broke that the Kraken had traded Mason Marchment to the Columbus Blue Jackets. According to Kate Shefty of the Seattle Times, the GMs Jason Botterill and Don Waddle started working on the deal 4 hours before the freeze and finished it with 30 minutes to go. The return on this deal was a 2026 fourth round pick and a 2027 second round pick. In the 29 games that Mush has played in Seattle, he had 4 goals and 9 assists. And as luck would almost always have it, in his first game with his new team, he was able to score and find the back of the net. So, what was your reaction to this news? And then maybe a little down the line, we'll talk about how we think the Marchment experiment went.
Yeah, the main way I was looking at this trade is just in terms of like what we gave up to get him, what we got out of him, and then what we got in return. And so we gave up a 2025 fourth round pick and a 2026 third round pick. And we're getting back a 2026 fourth round pick. So that fourth round pick is compensated for, and then also a 2027 second. So a whole round ahead. And I was reading an article, I believe it's the Blues second round pick, or sorry, not the Blues, the the Blue Jackets second round pick. So that will probably be a pretty decent second round pick. The other one was from like Minnesota.
I think it's the Rangers.
Oh, it's the one that we got is from the Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that would be even better then because I think they're like a dumpster fire right now. So yeah, decent return, and then what we got out of him, like a couple, like a decent amount of games, I guess, and then like that 2 goal game. But yeah, I guess we'll go into that.
Uh, Yeah, I think it's a big net positive. You hit on
Mhm.
what I wanted to hit on, that we got one extra round in return, coming back for that. So, I mean, that seems like a W to me that J Bots was able to pull that off. We'll see. Maybe it'll turn into something exciting. We never know what's going to come out of that second round. I do think that for the most part, the Mason Marshman experiment was a flop. We brought him in thinking or hoping that he was going to be this like firecracker kind of guy. He had some decent scoring seasons and things like that, and then he just like really didn't do that. I found myself being a fan of him at the start of the season. Like I think he scored in that first game, and then as the season went on, just getting more and more aggravated and annoyed with him. And maybe that's a good sign for him. Like something he likes doing is, pissing people off to try to get under their skin, and it clearly works on other players too. But towards the end, it was just like the shtick had run out. It was not entertaining anymore. I think of that Oilers game when he is constantly like jabbing them and starting fights and things like that, but not actually engaging and just skating away and laughing. And when you're down 5-2 or whatever it is, it's not a good look that you're trying to be the little shit disturber and getting things riled up. The icing on top was the Avs game when he got into a little scuffle behind the net. He threw a handful of gloves on punches at someone's face. I can't remember who. As soon as the other guy drops the gloves, he just like turtles up and cowers away and doesn't actually engage. And like that is the softest thing I've ever seen. That you're just talking all this smack and like peacocking around, and then as soon as it comes around back at you, like you're just like, "Nah, I'm out of here, bro." And then we'll talk about what came as a result of that shortly here. But yeah, the mush experience kind of ran dry for me towards the end.
Yeah, I think everyone would agree with that. And there were even games in the past week or 2 weeks. I remember being at one and seeing this play where it was just one play. I'm sure you had a ton of them, but where like the it just seemed careless, I remember. And I think the puck was kind of like going by him, but like he didn't even really make like an effort to even try to like go over and get it. And he like kind of lazily skated to the bench to change. And I was like, this guy seems very checked out. And I think, I mean, this kind of confirms that. And I've even heard things like between management and him could have been a little rough. There's been some rumors going around about that. But I think really what it was, he's on this legendary team, the Stars, who have just been like perennial superstars in terms of their performance. And he contributes there like very well. He was a Stars fan favorite. He did contribute in scoring. I thought we were going to get a lot of like net front scoring from him because that's what he kind of delivered to the Stars. I think it's really just a case of, and I feel like we've seen this time and time again with the Kraken, where it's like you have a guy that's contributing on a decent team, and he comes over here, has huge, way bigger expectations to like carry a team, and you just don't really see that because that was never really Marchment's thing. He was kind of just like a guy that would contribute when there's all these fireworks going on around him. He's just kind of hidden and contributing. But when he has to be the fireworks, it's like, oh, there's nothing really going on. But I mean, really, we're just gonna have to build a good team before we can, milk what comes out of those. No, 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 horrible.
You want to go with a different metaphor there?
Yes, yes, yes. We just have to like build like a much better team before we can like get everything out of that type of player. Until then, I think we're just going to keep seeing the same thing.
Did you see the video that Kraken Isles put out on Twitter after he was traded? It said like the Mason Marchment legacy, and it was
I
set
did
to
see that.
Fergie's clumsy, and it's just him like sitting on the ground pouting and like shrugging and giving his icy blue eyes stare to everyone, be like, "What's going on? What
Yeah,
the
I
heck?"
saw.
And
Did you?
falling down.
Is that the same one where he like every single clip was him falling, or
Yeah,
is that?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that. That was
Oh,
legendary.
shout out to Kraken Isles for that. That was amazing. So yeah, smell you later, Mason Marchment. Maybe when I don't know when we play Columbus next, but someone can, feed him a couple gloves off knuckle sandwiches to put him in his place.
Maybe Montour.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna get to that now. Quick injury update for this team. First of all, still no McCann, Schwartz, Murray, or Catton in the lineup. We're still waiting to see what happens with those guys. And we had another huge blow to us this week when it was announced on Monday morning that Brandon Montour is being placed on the IR after undergoing hand surgery following a fight against the Avs, and he is expected to be out for about 4 weeks. I tweeted out from our account this morning, I put the blame of this injury 1000% on Mason Marchment, because as I was alluding to in the previous little chunk there, he started up that fight and he turtled up and got out of there, and Brandon Montour came in to stand up and save the day, took, I can't remember who, down to the ice, started feeding him some ground and pound punches, and I guess it looks like he let one of his hands either bash the side of his helmet or into the ice, something like that, and he messed up his hand real bad. So that is a huge blow for this team. We like all here love Brandon Montour. He's always putting up very exciting things. So to be without him for 4 weeks, that's going to be a brutal stretch. And when you look at the January calendar, that's we got a lot of games happening in January. So hopefully he's able to come back pretty soon in that frame. What was your thought on that news when it came out?
Oh man, I mean, I was texting you during that game, and I was like, bro, like there were four guys that went to the box on that, and Montour was supposed to be one of them, and he wasn't in there. I was texting you. I'm like, bro, where's Montour at? Why isn't he in the box? And you're like, oh, the Avs guy went in to go get cleaned up a little bit. He's probably just getting cleaned up. I'm like, bro, is he hurt? Oh my god! And did not return to that game. Man, I mean, really just huge blow. But we've had a ton of those this year, and at this point in the season, it's just like no, like this is the final straw. Like there's no salvaging that. And like when we talk about the forwards being weak or whatever, the only like saving grace is the defense and the goaltending. And when you basically eliminate your best like all around defender, Vince Dunn might be slightly better offensively, but I feel like Montour just brings kind of everything to the game and also has that insane offense. I mean, he's just like your guy out there. He's the guy. And yeah, him being gone is just horrible. But maybe it's good for just making sure he has a good, end to the season, gets healthy. Maybe he had some other stuff going on that he can sort of recover from and rehab from because he plays a pretty physical game. So yeah, I mean, maybe it's good for our draft pick, but obviously not good for if you're looking for wins.
I have two things to spin off from here. One is injury related, and it goes back to the Marchment one too. I think one slight positive out of this is I'm excited to see more Jacob Melanson because I've been really liking seeing what's been coming out of him in the 4 games he's played so far. I feel like every other minute he's just laying his body into someone, and we want that physicality. That's awesome. I just did a quick scan of the Kraken roster. Of the 25 skaters who have played so far this season, how many do you think have played in all 33 games with our injury woes?
Do the 25 include like the subs for those players?
It includes like John Hayden, Jacob Melanson.
Okay. I'll say 13.
13. We have had 8 play in all games.
What?
Chandler Stevenson, Jordan Eberle, Vince Dunn, Ellie Tolvanen, Matty Beniers, Shane Wright, Adam Larson, because of course Iron Man Adam Larson, Ryan Lindgren, and that's it.
So was that 4 forwards or 5 forwards?
One, two, three, four, 5 forwards, 3 defensemen.
So 5 forwards out of
So
potentially
we
12.
we almost have a whole line.
Oh my. That's insane.
Yeah, so I guess we're gonna get to see a lot more Josh Mahura over the next 4 weeks. Cale Fleury bumps up to the bubble spot because he's been sitting up.
Someone asked if that means we'll see Jugnoff.
That'd be sweet.
I'm not sure. I don't know how that would shake out, but that would be pretty cool.
I wouldn't hate to at least give that a try for 1 game.
Yeah.
It'd feel crappy for Cale Fleury if he gets jumped again. and he's still stuck up there. Like, poor guy. I mean, like, it's nice that you're getting paid and stuff, but at a certain point, do you just go to the team and be like, hey, can you like send me down to play and bring someone else up? Because I don't even know if I remember how to skate at this point. It's been pretty rough.
Yeah.
The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me state. And new customers, this one is just for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved. All right. We always talk about our goalie updates too. We had another pretty solid week of goaltending in the Avs game. We had Grew, who was 34 of 38 with an 8.95 save percentage. In the Flames game, we had Joey, who was 42 of 45 shots that he faced, 933 save percentage. And the Sharks game, Joey was 35 of 37 at 972. You always have way more exciting in-depth numbers than the things that I quickly find on the score sheet. So what is your assessment on the goalies this week?
Okay, so I'm coming back with a recurring segment, and Matt Murray is back on top in the league, minimum 5 games played. Matt Murray is and he has 5 games played. That's why I always do that. Matt Murray is number 1 in the league in terms of goals saved above expected per 60. It's like 1.3 or something. Absolute beast mode for those 5 games still. Gru is right around where he was the last time we checked in at 31st in the league. But really, really, the highlight this week is Joey Daccord. He's taken a massive leap. He was at like 50 something, and now he's 35. Very, very fitting number.
Yeah,
for,
very, very
for Joey
apropos.
Daccord. Yeah, and that's after 0.6 goals saved above expected in the Flames game, and oh wait, yeah, and 3.41 goals saved above expected in the Sharks game, and that's the game that we won. So Joey's the only reason we won that game, which is just sad. Like the Sharks put up an absolute legendary amount of expected goals against. So for the week, he saved a whopping 4.01 goals above expected. So Joey is resurging to his prime self, like 972 save percentage in that Sharks game, 933 in the Flames game. Yeah, I mean, amazing for Joey. That's cool. We're getting our bang for our puck and a lot more with Joey. But
Did you say bang for our puck?
no, for our puck. But yeah, not really with any other players. So kind of a potential like wasted season. It reminds me, my brother's a huge Nashville Predators fan. It reminds me of all the years of UC Saros going like having the number 1 in the league stats on a team that's like literally 3/4 AHL, and it's just like, what is this for? Like like what's going on? It really reminds you how there's like 2 different games being played. There's like the game on the ice and then whatever the goalie's doing. It's like completely separate, and just it's kind of sad that we are continuing to sort of squander really cheap and like top end goalie talent. Yeah, it's just a tragedy.
Yeah, we'll have to brace and hope that we can finally support our goalies in the next upcoming bit here. I mean, if you're around Gru's up, that's another week of 900 save percentages across the week. So that is something that we love to see. Maybe some generous rounding.
I don't know if Alex is going to approve of you rounding to the number he's always holding Gru to.
I don't know. I thought rounding up 5/1000ths of a percent would work out, but whatever. He's not here to fight me on it, so I'm gonna go with that.
Let's go.
Some good news this week with our milestones. It's always nice that like week to week now we have some sort of milestone being hit. This one was a big week for Chandler Stevenson. The Stevie stands were eating good this week. His assist during the Sharks game extended his point streak to 8 consecutive games, which is the longest in his career. He has recorded 5 goals and 4 assists in this stretch, and this is the 4th longest point streak in Kraken history. So hopefully he can keep that going tonight. Spoiler alert, he was my Sasquatch pick for tonight's game against the Ducks. So fingers crossed that he keeps that going. He also recorded an empty net goal, which ties his career high of 4 games in a row with a goal. So again, hopefully we keep that going tonight to keep adding to that. Do you have any thoughts on Stevenson this week?
Oh, absolutely. I do, Matt. Things are bleak. So I did some soul searching. I was just looking for anything to be happy about. And, watching the games, I was like, Stevenson, man, he's really popping off. Like, I got to find something. And so I looked at Stevenson up and down, and I found an absolute gem on Money Puck, okay? Stevie, with his 9 goals this year, he only has 6.00 expected. So it gives him a Money Puck certified 15.8% above average shooting talent, which is like first on the team. And it's very high. So bro is going off. And I was thinking this could be a good time to potentially offload to a team that might want someone with 16% above shooting talent to spare us, potential decline in the next 5 years when he's on his way to 37 years old. So,
But then what will people have to complain about?
I don't know. Maybe not playing the 18-year-old kids we have and throwing them to the wolves. Maybe that's what they'll complain about. I don't know. But yeah. So Stevie absolutely going off this year, and really, really good to see because, like we were mentioning, there's only like 3 to 5 competent NHL forwards on the forward group this year. So seeing Stevie pop off like this is a very good sign. If he can continue that, like next year, if we have like a somewhat more serviceable team, that would be amazing to see.
Yeah, one thing closing out on Stevie here, I'll say is he is currently at the top of the points board for the team at 21 points, which, if we flash back to the time capsule, I, on a last minute pivot, because you picked the same person as me, chose Chandler Stevenson to be the points leader. So
It's not
maybe,
looking like too bad of a free agency signing if you take his last year and this year. So
okay, well, I'll definitely make a clip of this and tweet it out to plant that idea, and I'll start just tagging every single team in the comments for them to check that out. All right, our final segment this week. It is time for the second annual KRAKTIVUS celebration. So if you're familiar, we talked about it last week with the show Seinfeld. They had Festivus where they, on the 23rd December, which this will work out because this is when this episode is going out. They get together and they share grievances about friends, family, whatever might be the case. And we like to share our grievances about the Seattle hockey scene. I guess we can expand maybe beyond just the Kraken this time around. So we're going to sit around the BTW Zoom room and share these grievances over the last year. We have a few guest voices joining us this year, and we're going to start things off with a very familiar voice that we have not heard in some time as we start off with our own reporter, boots on the ground, Heather.
Hey BTW fam, it's Heather, and before I get into my grievances with the Kraken, of which I have several, I thought I would just take a quick second and just update you all a little bit. First, I want to say a huge thank you to these three who have been my biggest cheerleaders as I took on this new role covering the Torrent, our PWHL team here in Seattle, for the Hockey News, and I've really appreciated every week the shout outs and just following what I'm doing, and it really means a lot to me. So thank you to you three in particular, but then also just thanks to everyone who's been reading my articles, sharing them, commenting, all of that good stuff. It really just means the world to me when I'm doing something that's just completely out of my comfort zone. So just wanted to start by saying that, and also just let you know that I'm still going to be around, and I'm hoping to be starting something up new, hopefully in the new year, but I kind of have to get my feet under me and get my stride in this new role, and also get through the holidays. As you know, it's always a wild and crazy time. But aside from that, let's get to KRAKTIVUS, because I have so many things to say about the Kraken. First of all, I think number one grievance is that they're not the Torrent. And what I mean by that is just that what a breath of fresh air the PWHL has been, and also like just what a slog it kind of is to be a Kraken fan at the moment, right? And I've been just so grateful that I haven't had to analyze too much of their games, which I know sounds ridiculous, but my goodness, this has been just a abysmal season, to be honest. But more practical grievances I have is, I mean, I'm thinking about the most recent game that they played against the Flames, and the fact that Joey Decord had to make 42 saves in that game and then they still lost is just unacceptable. Like, I do not understand how there can be such a defensive breakdown to the point where Joey has to make so many saves. And this is not something new, right? This is like just completely normal behavior for the Kraken, but something has to give, because hanging your goalie out to dry is just not a way to win games, win seasons, any of that. Like, I don't understand it, and I haven't for a long time, and it's still bizarre to me to see numbers like that, when that should have been by any other standards, if you're looking at goals that he saved, shots that he saved, it should be a win. Like, that is just insane. The other big grievance that I have is just the lack of shots on goals. Like, we're looking at like players on the team getting 1-2 maybe per game. I mean, I just don't, I'm so flummoxed by that, because there has to be something better than just a couple shots on goal per game. That part also blows my mind, to have a game where I don't know, it's just really, it blows my mind that this is what we're looking at right now. And I I still just, I mean, I'm looking at numbers right now and it's still blowing my mind. 1-1-2. I just don't, you can't win a game that way. And especially not in a game where the other team has 46 shots on goal, right? Like, I'm again looking at Flames game just because it's the most recent, but I think that's a big tell also. And I also think this is my third and final grievance, I promise, but the fact that they are performing so poorly is also giving fans a reason to check out. So I was at a game semi recently, and I will say that while there's a lot of extraneous conversation usually at a game, right? Like, you're with your friends, you're having fun, sure. However, usually there's the majority of time people are at least talking about the game, talking about what's going on, talking about goals, etc., paying a little bit of attention. I have never seen so many fans just there because they're at like a social event and not because they're like at a Kraken game, because the conversations around me were not at all related to the game. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen sometimes, but I just feel like this season has made it really hard for fans to stay engaged and really just feel connected to the team. Like, I personally feel disconnection. I know that's because I've been focusing on the tournament, but even still, I don't feel as big a connection to the team as I have the past 4 years. And I think that a lot of it is just because there's something missing here, and I think we're setting ourselves up for several really rough years coming up. And I'm hoping that means that we're going to go through some growing pains. We're going to continue developing players, and I'm hanging my hat on that with hope that that's what's going to be happening moving forward. So those are my grievances with the Kraken. I have a lot of them, but I'll spare you to have too many. But again, so wonderful to be able to contribute to the pod again for this. And, I'm hoping to also be back in your ears soon with some torrent stuff. So look for that. Again, thank you so much for your support. Thanks for reading and sharing my articles. Just thank you for all of that, because it really does mean so much to me. All right. Happy holidays.
And I don't know about you guys, but it was absolutely amazing for my ears to be able to hear some Heather takes again. That was freaking awesome. I completely agree with her about the fans not being engaged because there's nothing to be invested in. Huge problem. Obviously, as a team, that's like your main goal on the business side of things. So we got to get that going somehow. People have floated, getting the youth movement involved. That's probably a good way to do that. Next up, we have our very own Alex. Take it away, buddy.
Happy KRAKTIVUS, one and all. This year for KRAKTIVUS, for the Seattle Kraken, realistically, there's a lot that I could honestly talk about today, about how this team frustrates me to no end. But the one I'm going to focus on most is ownership. And I think a lot of people are going to say, whoa, no management, no players. Well, simply put, ownership straight up is not listening to the fan base. The fan base has been screaming out for, at this point, years, that this team is not a playoff caliber team. Even Lewicki came out and said, we are going to be doing everything we can to make this team a playoff team, or we're going to listen to the fans. And rightly so, they did not listen to us whatsoever. Now, ownership has given Ron Francis a promotion that he does not deserve, and has brought in Jason Botterill as a promotion as well to general manager. And quite frankly, you cannot keep doing the same thing over and over again. That is literally the definition of insanity. And that's where we're at with this ownership group, is that they believe they can do exactly what they believe in bringing a Stanley Cup or even a playoff contending team to Seattle like they did in their second season, but it's not going to happen. This team is broken. This team needs to be brought back down to its studs, and the only real people that need to recognize this at this point, because the fans have already figured this out, is ownership. Once ownership figures this out, we can do this properly. But until then, we will keep riding this pathetic ship of, well, we can contend, and then, quite frankly, by Christmas time, they're out of the playoffs. And if you look at the 2025-2026 season, that's exactly what's happening. The Seattle Kraken are not making the playoffs. The Seattle Kraken are going to finish bottom 5 in this league. Let's hope this team finishes last so we can get a solid player in the draft this season, because that's a lottery pick and I will take it at any point. But that's where I'm at. Ownership needs to figure their stuff out, because if ownership can't figure this out, boy, we are going to be dealing with a pathetic Seattle Kraken hockey team for years to come, because they won't touch management, and then management will just keep going through the motions of getting rid of the coach and saying, well, we'll add another top, middle of the six player and hope that fixes it. It's not. We need them to clue in, because that's the only way we are going to see playoff hockey back in Seattle.
This is Michael Rosenbaum. Hey, folks, let me tell you that drinking and driving is a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI, because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. Always plan for a safe ride home. The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. It's never worth it to drive drunk. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
All right. Thank you, Alex, checking in from the IR and letting us know your thoughts on the ownership. I'm sure there's lots of people out there who have some pretty spicy thoughts on the front office of this team as well, so you are not alone. I'm gonna pony up my KRAKTIVUS grievance here. Derek, last year I talked about wanting a third jersey, and we got that, and those jerseys are not doing well for us, so we're gonna see if I strike out again. But I'm already picking what I feel is a bad thing with this team, and my grievance this year falls on the Kraken blue line, because you have spoken many times about how you feel that our defense is doing really well, but I find myself week to week, game to game, feeling like increasingly internally frustrated with the defense of this team. I start off with just a softball of Ryan Lindgren, and I am going to once again say that this dude is a certified DUD dud. During the Sharks game, I'm pretty sure it was, He went to the penalty box, and I was texting with a friend during the game, and I said, "This Ryan Lindgren penalty is going to cost us a goal." And 86 seconds later, guess what the Sharks did? They scored because Ryan Lindgren was in the box. And I think if you were to tally those up through the season, that happens a lot. Sure, later in that game, he scored his first goal as a Kraken, and then I tweeted out, "Hey, Ryan Lindgren, just because he scored doesn't mean that I have to like you." So he's just under my skin, not feeling him. Vince Dunn, fan favorite, but I feel there's only two extremes. He's either elite, amazing, or I feel things are not good with him. And again, we look to the Sharks game when he had just a horrendous behind the net turnover play that instantly got turned into a goal against. And I feel like there is no middle ground. He's either just super amazing elite or he just is phoning it in and putting as much effort into playing as he is keeping his mouth guard in his mouth. I don't know. Then Adam Larson, just to round this out, I think if own goals counted towards your stat, Adam Larson would be at the top of our points board if you were to look at the stat sheet. I feel every other game there is a shot going off of his shin or going off of his ass, or he's trying to fish the puck out and then knocks it in instead. And again, he just kind of like when they show him on the TV sometimes, I feel like he's just disassociating. Like he's just staring off into the void, being like, am I really going to put myself through 82 more games of this like I do every single season because I'm the Iron Man? Just get me to my 1,000th game and get me out of here. I don't know. But he signed on, what was it last year, like 4 more years, something like that. So he's in for the long haul unless we ship him off. But yeah, I feel like just constantly he's doing something that is putting the puck into our net instead of the other one. I feel you're sitting there kind of biting your tongue at the things that I have had to say, although you did have some acknowledging nods on some of the points I brought up. So please feel free to light me up.
Perfect. Let's go. I was hoping you'd ask. Um, I want to say first, I do agree with Ryan Lindgren. I feel like he's been pretty underwhelming and he does take a ton of penalties. Kind of reminds me of Carson Soucy. And so my feeling is that in like the playoffs, I feel like Lindgren would be an insane player to have, assuming he doesn't have the same discipline issues in the playoffs. But kind of one of those like guys that can, lay hits, can play solid defense. In terms of Vince Dunn, I agree he is streaky. He has really, really high highs and really, really low lows. And the Sabres game I went to as well, he had that play where he just kind of like turned around and stared at like a 2-on-0 that he kind of created by like wandering off into Narnia for no reason. And, that's definitely a mental lapse. And I'll say with Larson, absolutely. There's pucks always going in off of him. I just want you and everyone listening to try to imagine what it must be like to be a defender on this current Kraken team. Okay. You're fighting, you're holding your own, you're fighting in the trenches in your own zone. And you're like, oh, I'm going to get the puck out. And you get the puck out and you're passing it to Winterton or you're passing it to like one of these, the 7 out of 12 or the 8 out of 12 guys who are not serviceable NHL forwards at this point in their career. And it must just be exhausting to live that life of like out of our zone. We're moving it to the forward group who not going to do much with it. It's about to be back in our own zone. And the defense as a whole, including the offensive players, is what has been super solid this year. So I'm not going to disagree that individual defenders do have lapses, are bad. Really, what the defensive stats go toward is like Lane Lambert and the structure, I think, being dope. But I completely agree with all of your grievances. I just wanted to say, have some empathy for our boys on the
I
blue
do,
line.
but I'm still gonna get on my soapbox and
Okay. Yeah,
whine and
we
complain a
agree.
little bit. Also, look, Brandon Montour being out now is just like,
Oh
ugh.
my God.
We get a lot of Josh Mahura time, I guess. So
Okay, on the note of defense though, before we go forward, like Brandon Montour, is there a single thing you can complain about with that guy?
he's too handsome.
Like literally, there's that guy is just perfect on the blue line. Perfect, like he jumps in as a forward. Man, that guy is just awesome, and he doesn't really make mistakes the same way Dunn or Larson or Lincoln do. So
I'm gonna
hats
say
off
like
to Montour.
I often have garbage Kraken takes as the most green member of this team, but I still flash back to July 1st of 2024 when we signed him. And I said, I haven't seen a minute on this guy, but I'm going to be a Brandon Montour guy. And I ordered a Brandon Montour jersey before he even played a game. And I'm feeling so good in that decision with how he's been doing.
Yeah, you resonated a lot with that free agency class with Stevenson and Montour. You were
Right?
like, both these guys are just gonna be my boys.
And then
And
we get this year and oof. Ryan Lindgren, get out of here. All right. So that's going to do it with mine. I'm curious if there's any audience feedback on that or if I'm the only one hating on Vince Dunn. But we're going to go to another guest spot, a person who has appeared on the show on multiple occasions, including last year's Cracktivus, our good friend, Mike, aka Sasquatch NHL, who is going to let us know how he's feeling this year.
What's up, Beneath the Waves podcast fam? Thank you for having me back for this year's Cracktivus. My name is Mike. I run the Sasquatch NHL account and podcast. I've been a little bit on hiatus this year from podcasting and videos, but I'll be back eventually. It's just been a crazy year. So thanks for having me on. We're going to do this again. This is the second time I've done this, except this time I'm going to be flying solo because maybe a side grievance or a personal grievance. My wife and daughter right now are in Florida at Disney World, so that's not really fair because I get to stay home in Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, gray, rainy weather, but unfortunately it was necessary this time, so that's just the way the chips fall sometimes. But let's talk about Kraken grievances now. While I have plenty of them on the ice, as I'm sure many people do, I think, again, my focus is going to be a little more topical. So this year, the Kraken switched their on-ice entry device, or whatever you want to call it. They skate through this S, the Kraken S logo that's coming out of the ice partially now. I was a big fan of Stella, or the tentacle that protruded from the ice and was lowered from the ceiling. It's not that I don't really like the new one. I just really preferred the old tentacle. And for me, that was really cool. And now also when they do the the alternate jersey nights, they kind of lower both of them to the ice. So there's a lot going on there, a little bit of clutter, and I just kind of prefer the old tentacle. So anyhow, thanks for having me on, you guys. I appreciate it. Happy Cracktivus, everybody. And hopefully we have some positive things and some good Kraken hockey to look forward to in the new year, because man, it's been rough.
And a huge thank you to Mike. Really appreciate it anytime you come on the show. Bro is literally the most chill dude in the world, and I recommend listening to anything he ever has to say about literally anything, but obviously the Kraken. That's probably what you're interested in. But yeah, man is just so good at calming you down and just getting you to think about what's going on with the team. So huge thank you to Mike.
I think back to, there was a tweet a while ago when he said, like, hey, Derek, I made this just for you. And he was like breaking down some play that happened in response to a tweet. Like, he's just the most logical dude.
That was awesome. I love that. I still need to know how he did the whole circles in the air. I would love to do that for like goal breakdowns and stuff. So I need to hit him up for that. But that was awesome to watch. I hope he does more of that. He needs to. That was really good analysis. And in terms of that tentacle that's coming down, completely agree with you. I think at this point, it's more of like a sunk cost sort of thing, where that thing was probably a pretty penny. And they're like, how do we get use out of this? We can't really sell this to anybody. What are they going to use it for? I guess you could strip it down for parts or something, or metal. I don't know. That's probably going for a decent price. But yeah, they need to find something with that. I really do love that little half logo, though. I think that is just freaking awesome. I love that they skate through that thing. Okay, all that to say, now is the time where we get to my Cracktivus grievances. I have two. It's kind of hard to decide which one to go with first. So I'll go with the lighter one first, and then I'll go with the heavier one second, because the heavy one is a little heavy emotionally. So, okay, I'm being dramatic. Okay. But the first one is fans that are complaining about the lack of fight, and I think got Montour injured, because we don't want our guys fighting, okay? This is a skill game now. It's not the 90s, it's not the 80s, it's not the early 2000s where you have all these meatheads that can barely hold a wooden stick in their hands that are all just going up there in fisticuffs all day. This is a skill game where it's like guys that are doing some crazy stuff, picking up the puck on their stick and playing lacrosse. Basically, it's wild. This era is over. Okay, answer this question: is Brandon Montour better on our team as a guy who's using his skills to help the team and make good passes and make good plays, skate up with the rush, score goals, play defense? Or is he better after a play, going in and getting injured in a fight? And a lot of fans would say that the latter is like a crucial play that we need to have happening. I disagree. Maybe if it's like some guy like Melanson or something, you could say like, oh yeah, risk your body a little bit to go throw some punches. But anyone that you value the skill of, absolutely not. I think that's ridiculous. And that is one of my grievances. It's a huge grievance, and it's highlighted with the Montour injury. My second one is a little sad. And the headline of it is Jordan Eberle, career ruined, for now, ? Okay. And the reason is the guy does not have a Stanley Cup. Okay. And he really deserves one. And he's been a dope captain for us. And he's been a Kraken day oneer. And, he's up there, he might be the top Kraken of all time so far in terms of just everything included, tenure and, captaincy, everything. Breaks my heart that it's looking like we're not going to the playoffs this year. Before the season, I was talking about how I didn't want us to waste this last year of Jordan Eberle's contract because I'm not sure if there's going to be more. That's part of the for now. The other part of the for now would be a potential trade to a cup contending team. And yes, it would sting and it would hurt. And there's like two paths that Eberle can go down, right? There's the path where you can be like, okay, this might be my last year or one of my last years, and I can try to win a Stanley Cup. I'd be completely fine with that. Like, you deserve it, bro. You did so much for us that I don't want to see you just like dwindle out and let your spark just go out on a team that's probably not going to make the playoffs. The other side, the other avenue he can go down is going down with the ship as a true captain. And I don't know, maybe that would be cool too. That's more of like on a personal level. He's just like, you know what? I'm with this team. I'm the captain. I'm going to do what I can to make sure everyone's the best they can be before I go out. And that would give me chills. That would be dope. So I like either way, I'm fine, but it's just so sad to me that I like Jordan Eberle's a guy that like even when I was like kind of like a younger kid, like he's one of the only names in the NHL I knew. And so it's sad that we're kind of failing him in this way. And I don't know what avenue he's going to go down, but I just hope for the best for Eberle and want him to do what he wants to do. I'm fine with whatever decision he wants to make, though.
Yeah, I've been Team Ebs day one. He was my instant buy-in to this team with being from my hometown. And when we did our time capsule earlier in the season and we were talking about what free agents stay and go, I said it's going to break my heart that he's probably going to go somewhere like Edmonton or something to try to get one last cup run. So we'll have to wait and see. I hope we go down with the ship route, but who knows? Like if he decides to go off to greener pastures to chase a cup, I mean, all the power to him. So
yeah, Edmonton would be very full circle, getting drafted there, stuff like that. And the fact that, no Canadian team has won the cup in like 500 years or something like that. So
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be very full circle for him.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our grievances this week. If you have a grievance that you want to air, by all means, go in the tweet post for this. Send us a message on Instagram, something like that. Let us know what things you are upset about this season. Get it all off of your chest. There's still, 4 games to go in this calendar year, I do believe. And hopefully 2026 will be a better year for the Kraken. As we begin to round things out, Derek, do you have a shovel story for this week?
Nothing too notable, but the only game I worked was the PWHL game. And that was super fun to be at. It's the second one I've been at. The crowd is like insanely loud. There was like 11,000 people there instead of like the usual like 17K or whatever. But I honestly think they could sell the higher tickets if they wanted to. Like the place was full. So I'm like, if it's full, why not at least like open? It looked like it wasn't open to buy the higher level tickets because there was no one sitting there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they should probably do that. Like I feel like they're just leaving money on the table. But yeah, super fun to be at. We had, I think, 7 or 8 skaters. So it's a lot more work that we have to do. And yeah, it's like when I got down to go to our like little dressing room, the torrent were like kicking around the soccer ball, playing some like fun music and stuff. It seemed a lot more just like cheerful and fun than the normal Kraken warm-ups that seemed just more like screamy and like I'm gonna try to kick you with a soccer ball, like or beam you in the head with a football. They do that, I think, too. Um, so yeah, I worked another PWHL game. Very fun. The result wasn't very good. I think I'm bad luck for the torrent, so I'll try to stay away. But yeah, they're having a pretty good season compared to the Kraken.
Yeah, for sure. In terms of our week ahead with the holidays upon us, our schedule will probably shift a little bit slightly here, and we have 4 games happening before we end up recording next. What is on the horizon for the Seattle Kraken?
Yeah, so in 34 minutes at 7 p.m. on the 22nd here, Monday, we're playing in Anaheim against the Ducks. And then tomorrow, we're going to be in LA against the Kings. On Sunday, we're going to be at home against the Philadelphia Flyers. And then on Monday, we're going to be at home against the Vancouver Canucks. Should we do like a little prediction on like the whole record thing on the next week? You want to do that?
I'm gonna say 2-2. I think we drop to the Ducks and the Kings, which plummets us down the Pacific. But then we come back from our Christmas dinners and bounce back against the Flyers and the Canucks.
Very creative. I like that. I am going to go. I've been going with the undefeated route the past 3 weeks, and it has not worked a single week. Now that we're changing our sort of target, I think, to that 10% Gavin McKenna odds, I think I'll go with 0-4-0 and just try to rack up as many percentage points for that first overall pick as we can. If we're going to be the 32nd, we might as well just be the 32nd,
Yeah.
32 crew, baby. Let's go.
32. I think that's trademarked. I don't think we can use that.
Well, they're defunct now. So
Oh, okay. I will say on the PWHL side, there are 2 Torrent games happening this week as well. On Tuesday, they are hosting the Montreal Victoire, and on Saturday, they are playing the Sirens in the Takeover Tour game in Dallas. So that'll be exciting. Make sure you tune in for those.
Yeah, I saw who was the player that was wearing the Stars jersey?
Caleb Barnes.
Oh yeah, Caleb Barnes wearing the Stars jersey. That was sweet.
Yeah. And it's Hannah Bilka is from the Dallas-ish area, so big like homecoming game for her. So it should be pretty exciting.
That area just has been churning out top end hockey talent. Hannah Bilka is just disgusting at hockey.
She's crazy.
So, yeah.
All right, quick Coachella Valley rundown here in Alex's absence. The Coachella Valley Firebirds are still sitting in 5th place in the Pacific with a record of 15-7-3. As has been the case, Jagger Firkus is still sitting at the top of the leaderboard with 13 goals and 15 assists through 26 games. So he is above a point per game, which we love to see. Just comparing this to last year, in last season, Firkus had 15 goals in 69 games played. So he is almost at the amount that he had in the entirety of last season. So that is awesome. That is awesome. Hey, that's what I said last week, and I got dunked on. So
hey, you're not getting dunked on this week. Bring him on, bro.
Bring them up. They are off for a little bit of a holiday break here when they return next weekend. On the 27th, they host the Abbotsford Canucks, and on the 28th, they visit the Henderson Silver Knights. So keep that going. I'd love to see, like especially with our injuries here. We were talking before we started that with this Montour injury, it could cause maybe like an exciting loan to come up in the form of like Tyson Jugnoth or something like that to make something exciting happen. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. And that'll do it for this week. Just the Matt and Derek show, running shorthanded, running the PK. And I'd like to think that we had a pretty efficient PK on the pod this week. Derek, do you want to let the people know where they can find BTW online this week?
Absolutely, Matt. But first,
can you pause for a sec? Like, hold on. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? There's a knock at the office door. Just let me go check it out here.
Okay.
Derek, we have some Kraken Christmas carolers at our door. It's just like a bunch of adorable little children who want to sing us a song. Do you want to should I slam the door in their face, or do you want to hear what they have to say?
Slam the door. I'm the Grinch.
Oh, well,
No,
that's not
let's hear what they have to say. They're just
Okay.
kids.
Hey, little kids, what song are you gonna sing for us? We're gonna sing the 12 Days of KRAKTIVUS. Oh, the 12 Days of KRAKTIVUS, Derek. Let's hear what our 12 Days of KRAKTIVUS are. On the first day of KRAKTIVUS, Seattle Hockey gave to me one new PWHL team. On the second day of KRAKTIVUS, Seattle Hockey gave to me 2 first-round draft picks and 1 new PWHL team. Then I'm gonna do a little time pass thing to get us to the end because I'm not doing this entire fucking song.
I was like, holy shit, 12 is gonna be a lot.
Okay. On the 12th day of KRAKTIVUS, Seattle Hockey gave to me 12 guys on IR, 11 CV call-ups, 10 money puck check-ins, 9 pranks from Bowie, 8 rotating D-men, 7 stylish walk-ins, 6 UFAs, 5 star reviews, 4 losing seasons, 3 yeeted fish, 2 first-round draft picks, and 1 new PWHL team.
Oh my God.
Thanks,
That
kids.
is amazing.
Thanks, kids. Looking forward to what you have to provide us with next year. Now, hit the road. Get out of here. Okay, Derek, before you were so rudely interrupted, can you let people know where to find BTW online this week, and if you have any constructive feedback on my Christmas Carol for this year?
I feel like I have the exact same reaction as to what you did last year. Like, that was just awesome, dude. That was amazing. Yeah, that was very well done. Okay. Yeah, holy shit. Following that up, go check out the store, bit.ly/BTW store. We actually just came out with a shirt that has the 12 days of KRAKTIVUS. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we have some sick ass designs over there.
Go get your Mush shirt before we maybe take it out of the store.
Yeah, Mush shirt is limited time. Leaving Netflix soon. So also go check out Heather's articles. The link will be in the show notes as always. You can follow Heather Nicole with no E and at the Hockey News W to see more of her work, or just look up Heather Munka, literally just type and you'll find some Yahoo Sports articles or so. It's insane. Probably a Wikipedia page at this point. Keep your eyes on your podcast feed to see when she drops more PWHL episodes. Please also drop a follow and a 5-star review on the podcast app of your choice that you're currently listening to this on. And please follow us on all socials. It helps us out a whole lot if you could take a second to like or comment on those videos. And Matt, here we go with our close here. Now, with each passing jolly Christmas day, it looks like Santa will be bringing Gavin McKenna our way. So keep up with the Tankathon madness over here at BTW SEA. Go follow us over at BTW SEA. You know you want to. Go give Matt some love for that absolutely banging Christmas Carol that he came up with. That's just insane. He does everything on the pod, so go give him some love.
Peek behind the curtain. I had to do last-minute adjustments to that because we had 7 UFAs, and then we traded Mason Marchment away, so I had to rewrite the whole song.
Oh my God, this guy, bro. And on how short of notice did you do? 1 day or 2 days notice?
For what?
Or when did you realize that?
5 minutes before we started.
Oh my God. Holy. Yeah, that's gonna do it though. Thanks for listening to just us two yapping all day. Yeah. And we'll see you when are we gonna see the people again?
Mid next week, probably.
Mid next week. All right. Catch you guys later. All right. Bye.
Going beneath the waves, going beneath the waves.
Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.